Welcome to the Diverse Jewish Books podcast. I want to welcome everyone today to this conversation with Dara Henry, author of Mazel Tov Baby and Hanukkah Pajamakkas.
Thank you so much for welcoming me, Lauren. I really appreciate it. I'm very
I'm ex-
excited to be here.
I'm so excited that you are here, and I love seeing both books behind you there.
Yeah. Should
Oh
be
yeah, can we
moving.
get a closer view of Mazel Tov Baby?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, I have one on my in my
Oh,
lap here.
fabulous. So
It's
Mazel Tov Baby comes out September 16th. Can you tell us
yes.
about it?
So, Mazel Tov Baby is a really fun and interactive board book with lift the flaps and look at these adorable babies. Varda Livdi did such a beautiful job on these babies. They are so cute, and it's so fun to lift these flaps. They lift up, down, out. So fun. And it was really made to kind of encourage play and interaction, not just with the story. It's kind of like playtime in a book, but also between the caregiver and the little one. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm so excited to share it with everybody.
Your inspiration behind creating it.
Well, I really wanted to focus on milestones, like milestones that all little ones celebrate, like walking, crawling, um, standing, and to make it just about interaction, as I said, with the caregiver. And I thought back when I was writing the story to what the books that my children and I really enjoyed the most. And I mean, there's so many great books out there, but I always just found the ones that they really loved and they asked to pick up again and again were the ones that involved, me being involved reading and also interacting with them and the book. So that was kind of the inspiration, my own kids and our experience reading with story time. And then I also really wanted to make it about joy and celebrating milestones. So
Was
that was the
there
inspiration.
was there a specific moment for you personally that sparked the idea?
Well, I think, it wasn't necessarily a specific moment. It was more just, I went through this period of time where I felt like I needed to be more joyful. And I looked at my children and I felt like they needed to be more joyful. Like we all just needed to celebrate more. And it kind of gave me pause. And I reflected on how I could, make my writing a little bit more celebratory too. And little ones experience so many like milestones and they need that encouragement and they light up when they get it from their parents and caregivers. So I just thought it would be a great way, put it in a book and make it fun. So
This book really is the board book epitome of Jewish joy. How did you decide which milestone moments to include? And do you have a personal favorite?
well, I really love, I mean, let's see, I love where children are pointing to heads and ears and noses. I mean, that's learning too. It's fun, it's interactive, it's playtime, it's learning. I mean, kids around this age, they're learning about body parts, and that's part of their everyday. Like, I can't even tell you how many times. I mean, I would remember like sitting with my kids, where's your elbow? Where's your knee? Like touch your head, touch your ear, open your mouth. And so, that was kind of one of the things that I really wanted to add to the book. In terms of my favorite one, I love waving and blowing kisses with babies. I mean, even if I'm in, like the grocery store and I see a little one, I'm like, hi, wave, wave at me. And so I really wanted that in the book too. I have a new little niece and I'm always blowing kisses, blowing kisses. So that's in the book. So,
That's the best, and it's really so fun to make that happen.
yeah,
It's
I agree.
universal.
It is. And I think anytime you can kind of get a child to engage, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's
So,
really fun. When did you, at what point in the creation process did you decide that you wanted this to be a toy or some kind of like interactive format?
well, I knew in the beginning that I wanted it to be actionable. Like that was very important to me. Um, but in terms of the interactive elements, I mean, they're so fun and I'm so happy with the way they turned out. The funny thing about it is that, well, first of all, I only got my books like about a week or so ago. So I was like waiting and waiting. I wanted to see how they turned out because I hadn't had the opportunity to fold and flip. And so that was really exciting for me. So I actually didn't design the mechanics though myself. So I can't take credit for that. But Sourcebooks and Varda did such an amazing job that, I mean, I knew it was going to turn out really well while I was looking at it, you know, on the files in my computer. But then to see it in person and to see the way that they just did a great job making the book truly interactive and engaging for little ones, like I'm so proud of it. They just did such a great job.
This is fresh.
Yeah, it's fresh. Yeah, I know. I'm still just like, I look at it every day and I'm like folding it and flipping it. I show it to my kids and it's a lot of fun.
That unboxing must have been particularly fun because you get the interaction with it.
It's true. I mean, so I've only done now 2 unboxings, and they've both been amazing. But I feel like the first time, you're right, because I had seen the illustrations and I didn't have that unknown about the interaction. This took on a whole different life, to actually be able to manipulate the pages in this way. It's just been a joy. It's been a lot of fun to really like interact with the book in that way.
Gosh, I imagine it must be. And that is probably only a fraction of the joy that children will feel like also playing with this book.
Well, so I think I'm going to have to post a picture soon, but I had a child, a little one, a toddler interact with the book for the very first time, not my own child. So somebody else's child. And I was so excited to read it to the child and then to actually see them interact with it. It was like, it was so much better than I could ever have imagined watching it happen right in front of me. I just can't wait to see little ones and families enjoy this book. It's going to be, I mean, I can't wait to get pictures and see it in person at events. I'm so excited.
Can you describe what it was like to us that first time you got to watch that happen?
I mean, just, well, I didn't know what to expect. Right. And I also didn't know how much to be involved. Like, I wanted to read it to the child, which I did. But then I also wanted kind of to see what would happen. Like, okay. And so now I read it to you. We did the flaps together. Now play with it. Like, see, I just was curious. And all the things that you can imagine, like the flipping, the turning. And I hope I'm allowed to show this. I think I can, but there's a mirror on the last page. And just like watching a child look at themselves in the mirror and kind of be in awe, like, oh, there's, you know, it's great. It's just so fantastic.
I love every part of the book, but the mirror is actually my favorite at the end.
It's super cute. Yeah, it's really, really cute. I'm so excited about that part.
It's so good because they really get to actively participate in the book and see themselves.
Yeah, I know. So I have to say, the mirror was not my idea. And so when I saw the mirror, I heard about the mirror and then I saw it. And then once again, to see it on your computer is very different than to see it, than to actually, oh my gosh, I can see myself and it looks, you know, it's so much fun. So yeah, opening up that box was just amazing.
It's truly immersive with that aspect of the book too.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, so the format is fabulous because it's a board book. And so it's very accessible. You have to be extremely intentional, obviously, about your word choices and about the different interactive elements because you only have so many pages to play with.
Right.
Rhyming text can be very tricky, and you chose to do it with this board book. Can you talk about how you approach the writing? How'd you land on rhyme for this one?
Well, I think when you're working, well, I'm going to take a step back and just say one thing that's applicable. But, you know, some people say, some writers say, some editors say, don't rhyme. And I always took that to heart. Actually, when I was in college and even in high school, I used to love to write poetry. I mean, it wasn't great poetry, but I used to love writing poetry. And then when I got interested in writing, I started hearing that, like, don't write rhyming books. And it kind of made me, in the very beginning, it made me really shy away from it. Um, and I think it's because it has to be really tight and intentional. And so, but when I started writing this book, I knew that obviously it was geared towards younger children. And with younger children, because of that rhyme, it makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense at other times too. It does, but it especially makes sense when when you're writing books for little ones, toddlers, infants, because they anticipate what's coming next, and it's a beautiful thing. They'll memorize a whole book. I remember my kids used to do that with rhyming books. So it was important to me to make it rhyming, and it was intentional. And but I did have to really think about what actions I wanted, how would I convey that, in rhyme. And sometimes it didn't work. I mean, that's the truth. Sometimes it didn't work. And either, a friend or agent or editor, said something to me, or could we change this? And then I'd have to create something else. So,
So, how many different attempts did you have on the rhyme on this one, or including different elements that may or may not have worked?
gosh, I mean, I haven't counted. Um, I mean, it wasn't like I had a total rewrite. It's just that, like, and it may not have been that the rhyme didn't work. You know, with rhyming, it has to feel easy and flow and feel natural. So sometimes I would want to convey something, and I thought, that just doesn't feel natural. But also, I remember there was a very specific, part that I just felt like I wanted to say something and it wasn't working, and I knew my editor agreed, my agent agreed, and so, I went ahead and changed it. I mean, even there's a page in here, and I don't remember what the rhyme was. There's a page about, trying to find it, about teeth, and it doesn't specifically mention teeth. And I'm trying to find the page, but it's this one, and I don't remember what the rhyme was before. But my agent actually was like, I don't really think it's working. Can you change it? And so I did. And I mean, she ended up really agreeing that this was a better fit for the book. And I did too, and it worked out well. But sometimes it's not necessarily that it doesn't, work. It just may not feel like it fits as well as maybe something else might.
You have to have that like really perfect flow with the meter and
Yeah. It's
it's
it's it's it's hard. It's not as easy. Some people think it is easy. I mean, for some people it might be easy, but it's not as easy as it looks.
it's not as easy as it looks. And when I was reading through Mazel Tov Baby, it's very, very different than Hanukkah Pajamakkas. And it
It
just
is.
shows quite a range for you here.
It is very different. I love them both so much for different reasons. Um, but yeah, it is very different. And I actually, and there may be some things to come to where you see, different styles as well. I mean, I like to try and kind of change it up a little bit because it's fun to write in different ways.
Is there a particular so Mazel Tov Baby is a lot of joy. It's for a younger audience. It's
Yes.
interactive. What kind of writing is on your heart right now?
Um, I mean, I think writing right now for me, and actually, I think a lot of writers, are I feel like what I'm seeing too out in the book world is it's all intentional and also reflective, um, and that there's so much going on in the world today that I feel like there's a lot weighing on all of our hearts. And so, how can we not express that in our work, right? So, whether that's choosing to be celebratory, with a toddler baby milestone book, or like with Hanukkah Pajamakkas, also celebratory and happy, joyful in a totally different way, and for a different audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hanukkah Pajamakkas does that really lovely too because you have this fabulous protagonist in it who's there's a lot of humor. It's very fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That book is so special for so many reasons. I mean, obviously it was my debut, so it will hold. I mean, I think every book that one has published probably holds a special place in their heart, right? Just like your children, uh, like they call book babies for a reason. Um, but but I feel like Hanukkah Pajamakas, um, for me, is really about resilience and this child who has this idea about celebrating the holiday in a certain way, and it's not going according to her plan at all. She's getting messier, and nothing's working out as she plans, but she still finds joy. And she still celebrates the holiday with her family and eats latkes and sufgan yot and, spins a dreidel um, so she even though things don't go according to her plan, um, she still has a wonderful holiday. And when with that book, I always tell kids, life rarely goes the way that we think it's going to go. Life is not spotless, but you can still have fun. So, yeah, that story is really special to me as well.
If I recall correctly, you had a fabulous outfit that went along with Hanukkah Pajamakkas. Did I
I
see
do.
correctly that you had a Mazel Tov baby outfit also?
I do. So I have pajamas for Hanukkah Pajamakas because I feel like how can you write a book called Hanukkah Pajamakas and not have pajamas to match the book? It just makes sense. And so I did that, and that was so much fun. And I will be wearing them again this year too. Yeah. So how can you not? But then when it came time, I started thinking about Mazel Tov Baby, and I don't know, there's just something special about having an outfit that is that is designed for your story. And I mean, the truth of the matter is it also takes a lot of pressure off. I mean, I know what I'm going to wear. I don't have to think about my outfit, which is great. But yeah, I had a dress made and I'm so excited. And there are all these beautiful babies from this book. Well, you won't see all of them, but you'll see most of them and you'll see the book cover. And yeah, it's comfortable and fun. And I especially I love clothing where, because I never know what the event is going to entail in terms. I mean, I'm oftentimes on the floor. I'm sitting on the floor with the kids. So I need something comfortable. If I'm not comfortable, then I can't do all the things I want to do. So,
That is very, very savvy to just know exactly what you're going to wear at these events, something comfortable. It's a good
yes.
lesson.
Yes, I highly recommend it.
And it's another way to sort of create permanence along with the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. And the kids love seeing characters on your clothes. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times children and parents would come up to me and say, "Is that Ruthie from the book? Is that Patches?" And I would say, "Yes." So I mean, they love it. So,
That's the sweetest.
yeah.
So, you have written now two books centered around Jewish identity. One of the things that I really like talking to everyone about on the podcast here is what does being Jewish mean to you? What does it look like for you today?
So, you know, we're always evolving and changing and growing. And so I'm a mother. I have 3 children. And so I think being Jewish for me today is obviously different than maybe it was 20 years ago, but I think it has always meant traditions, stories, songs, celebrations, connection, family. And those are like really important for me to pass on and to make sure that my children, have the Jewish joy. It's so, so important. I mean, I've always had that, but it's really interesting and different now being a parent and seeing Judaism through the eyes of a child and, Hanukkah, and making latkes. And I mean, as much I love making latkes, but, they're a little bit of work. They are a little bit of work, but we do it because they're delicious. It's part of the holiday, and you want your children to experience those things. So, actually, I mean, this is a bit of a digression, but not really. When I hold events for Hanukkah Pajamakkas, especially with preschoolers, we do an interactive latke making activity where I bring in like a bowl and potatoes and onions and a grater, and I sit on the floor with them and we go through like, how do you make latkes? And we talk about it. And so I bring pictures too, because we don't actually make latkes. I ask them to use their imagination. And so I bring a pan, I bring oil. So I bring, salt, and they grate potatoes with me. And they throw their grated potatoes into my bowl and we mix it up together. And so I feel like that's a really big part of being Jewish, right? Like, and I'm not just talking about latkes, but the experience of, just celebrating with food and the traditions and, singing the songs and all that stuff.
And with community.
And with community. Yeah, especially with community.
With Mazel Tov Baby, what was it for you that was really important about creating a book that celebrated milestones, which is wonderful anyway, but to do it in a way that was Jewish?
Well, I feel like now that and I think it's because I'm a parent now, and I feel like it's just so important for me, back to, traditions and sharing joy, Jewish joy with my children. I also want to share that with other people's children. And so I felt like, I don't know, I just felt it was really important for me to do it in a Jewish way. And for some reason, I mean, Mazel Tov, that word is so joyful. I mean, when do we say that word? We say it at weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, babies, births, baby namings, brisses, we say it whenever it's a happy, joyous time. So I felt like I wanted to pass that word, make that word really mean something to little ones and use it to encourage them in their little special celebrations too. Because, they're working on such, even though it looks like little steps, crawling, walking, standing, those are so huge for little ones. And so I thought it would be a nice way to encourage them.
You mentioned what's going on in the world very briefly earlier, and how that's informed how you chose to write what you're writing now. Can you talk to me about maybe if you see a shift in how Jewish stories are being told for children today, or maybe generally what you see of the Jewish children's book landscape now?
I mean, I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I think all stories, Jewish stories, they're all what I'm seeing, and what I love seeing is they're not just teachable stories and reflective stories and, joyful stories, but also I feel like, they're made to encourage compassion and understanding for others, celebrate diversity. I'm seeing a lot. I love seeing so many Jewish books out in bookstores. It makes us so happy. It makes my kids so happy when we walk into a bookstore and we see Jewish stories. I mean, my kids beeline it for those books. It doesn't even matter if they're baby books or toddler books. I mean, my middle schooler, like we all go and read those books because, there's something about seeing ourselves in the stories. But I think what we're all seeing is just reflective stories, intentional stories, and stories that can, be applicable to anybody too. People can, anybody, any religion or race can all pick up books, the Jewish books or any book, and read them and appreciate them.
And it's a mirror, which makes so much sense for why they gravitate to those stories.
Yeah. And a mirror, and also maybe even learning something new. Like maybe it isn't a mirror. Maybe it's actually like, wow, I didn't know that about that religion or that holiday, or, so I mean, I think it's all of it. It's so important to, and that's why I love seeing diverse books, and especially diverse Jewish books too.
Oh, I for some reason I feel like that resonates with listeners of this particularly
Yeah,
well. uh,
exactly, exactly.
so with Mazel Tov Baby, as it's going to be on shelves so soon,
So
what
soon.
message or feeling do you hope that young children and their parents take away from this book?
Well, I think one of the really important messages is, just wherever you are, whatever you're working on, and it could be, walking, crawling, waving, celebrate it. Be joyful because all of those moments count. All of the baby steps count. And that's true for all of us, right? I mean, even, and that's why this story is about, toddlers and babies, but caregivers also can get something out of it, and not just the play time with the little ones while they're reading it. But I feel like when you read a joyful book, it rubs off on you too. And we tend to start celebrating ourselves as well, and we need, as caregivers and adults, we need that as well.
A little bit of joy.
A little bit of joy, yeah.
So I know that you created a craft to go along with this book.
Yes. So I actually have two versions
Mm.
of this craft, and I wanted to share both. I hope that's okay. So when I first started thinking about a craft, my mind immediately went to adults at events, maybe like mommy and me classes, or, like where I might be interacting with parents and showing parents how to make like a little what I call them like a Mazel Tov milestone frame. And as you can see, so in this case, the frame, I did not paint the frame; it came white, but I did paint all the little hearts, and I did, write on some little milestones, and you could just, hot glue these on. It's really easy, but it's also really meaningful and special, and a nice way to make a little personalized, craft and gift for your little one. But then I thought, I'm not sure little ones can do all of that. And so I wanted something that, either a parent could work on with a child, or like a toddler, or something that maybe, a little one could start to do on their own. And so now this is this one, so my son did this for me. I went ahead and thought, stickers could be good. And we use stencils and markers too. You could use paints. And then we just kind of like glued a mirror on there on the back. And so I thought that could be fun because I feel like it's really important for a child to see themselves, hence, the mirror in the story too. But also when a child looks at themselves in the frame here or in the book, then they can celebrate, themselves as they are now and all that they're doing now. So, and I thought they could decorate it maybe with things that are important to them or things that are meaningful for them as well.
That is so sweet.
Well, I thank you so much, and I hope it's, I hope kids enjoy doing it, and grown-ups too. So hopefully it'll be a lot of fun.
We know from our own household with a 2-year-old who would very much be into this book that the collection of stickers here keeps
Oh
growing.
yes,
The dot panes, they have a lot. There's like
yes,
babies, at least in our house, are like small hoarders. And so
yes,
the number of things that are meaningful to attach to a frame is endless, really.
yes. Well, I think you can really use this in so many different ways. I mean, I thought about, as you mentioned, like those little daughter, like really, there's so many different supplies you can use. Paints too, although paints can get a little messy sometimes. Parents or caregivers don't love the paints, but I say use the paints. So
Perhaps maybe not like the bookstore events, but in
yeah,
someone's home.
exactly. Exactly. Although I will say that I did use paint last year
Oh, that's
at
fun.
certain events. I did learn from it. We made pajamas, and we did use paints. I eventually moved towards fabric markers, which was, it was a learning experience, as we said. But yeah, all fun. And actually, some directors that I worked with encouraged the paint, and I thought that was so great. We just kind of like planned for it. If you plan for a mess, and like a beautiful mess is what I mean by that. Like, if you put tablecloths out, like disposable tablecloths and things like that, then you don't mind getting paint all over.
It's interactive
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
memorable.
Yes. And fun.
It's fun. What is next for you?
So I'm working on something really special right now. I can't really talk about it too much, but it's rooted in love and self discovery. And I cannot wait to share it and share more about it. Um, but that's to come. And then I'm always working on a million other things. So, fingers crossed that there will be plenty more books along the way in the future, and that I will be, hopefully maybe even back here sharing more with you. Um,
And as you go on some promotion events for this book, where can people find you? Maybe in bookstores.
So I will be at Page's Bookstore in Manhattan Beach on September 14th at 10:30 a.m. So if you're in the area, if you live in the LA, area or even a little beyond, come check it out. I'll also be at Zibby Owens Bookstore October 4th. Actually, even before that, I'll be at the LA Book Festival, which is happening. I think it's on the 7th of September. So really coming up very soon. And actually, even though Mazel Tov Baby doesn't come out until the 16th, they're letting me sell it a little early. So if you come to that festival, you can pick it up early before anybody else gets it. So that's fun. And then I have some more events in the works, and I will be sharing on social media about those soon.
Dara, it was so nice having you on the podcast today and talking about both Mazel Tov Baby and Hanukkah Pajamakkas, and we're excited for Mazel Tov Baby coming out very
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you so much, Lauren, for having me. I really appreciate it. And I had so much fun chatting. I really
Likewise.
did.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye.